Emma Carter had always been a kind-hearted soul. A 24-year-old single mother from Ohio, she had moved to Washington, D.C., hoping to build a better life for her 5-year-old daughter, Lily. Working at McDonald's wasn't her dream job, but it paid the bills barely. She never let the stress of life dull her kindness, always offering a smile to customers and sometimes even sneaking an extra nugget or fries for struggling families. One chilly November evening, as the golden arches of her McDonald's flickered against the darkening sky, she was about to clock out when a quiet young man walked in. Dressed in a simple hoodie and jeans, he didn't stand out except for the Secret Service agents keeping a discreet but watchful distance. Emma immediately recognized him. It was Barron Trump, the son of the current president of the United States. Emma had read about him, how he preferred to stay out of the spotlight, how he didn't seem to crave attention like his father. But what struck her was how normal he looked. No flashy suits, no entourage making a scene, just a teenage boy looking to grab a bite. He stepped up to the counter and ordered a simple meal, just a cheeseburger, fries, and a Coke. Emma could tell he wasn't expecting special treatment. But something about the way he stood there, hands stuffed into his pockets, made her hesitate. Maybe it was the exhaustion in his eyes or the fact that he had come alone. Maybe she just wanted to do something nice. Without thinking twice, she took out her own credit card and swiped it before the register could even ring up the total. Barron looked up confused. "Wait, what are you doing?" Emma smiled warmly. "Don't worry about it. It's on me." He frowned slightly. "But why?" "Because sometimes people just deserve a little kindness," she said with a shrug. "And trust me, McDonald's won't go broke over one free meal." For the first time in their interaction, Barron smiled. "That's really nice of you." She slid the tray toward him. "Enjoy, kid." He gave her a grateful nod and went to sit at the farthest booth. The Secret Service agents took their places nearby, but they didn't intervene. Emma didn't think much of it as she finished her shift, wiping down tables and throwing away stray wrappers. To her, it was just another act of kindness, something she had done many times before. But she had no idea that the simple act would soon cost her everything. The fallout begins. The next morning, Emma's manager, a short-tempered man named Carl, called her into his office. His expression was grim as he folded his arms across his chest. "Emma, we have a problem." She frowned. "Did I do something wrong?" Carl tossed his phone onto the desk. The screen showed a tweet that had gone viral overnight. It read, "McDonald's employee gives Barron Trump free food." Was she trying to buy favors or just breaking corporate policy? Emma's stomach dropped. The tweet had thousands of likes and retweets, with people arguing whether she had done something noble or if she had crossed a line. "This is a PR disaster," Carl grumbled. "You know corporate policy, Emma. Employees are not allowed to give away free food." "But it was just one meal," she protested. "I paid for it myself." Carl shook his head. "It doesn't matter. Corporate wants to send a message. You're fired." Her heart pounded. "You're kidding." He sighed. "I wish I was." Tears welled up in her eyes, but she forced them down. She had been working here for 2 years. And now, because of one act of kindness, she was being thrown out like garbage? She gathered her things, walking out of the McDonald's with her apron balled up in her hands. She had no idea how she was going to explain this to Lily. But what she didn't know was that someone had seen what happened. And that someone was about to change everything. Emma spent the rest of the day in a fog. The cold Washington air bit at her skin as she walked back to her small apartment, replaying the manager's words over and over again. "You're fired." Those 2 words echoed in her mind like a cruel joke. When she opened the door to her apartment, the sound of Lily's laughter greeted her, a brief, warm relief from the turmoil swirling in her chest. "Mommy," Lily squealed, running up to her with open arms. Emma dropped to her knees and scooped her daughter up, hugging her tightly. She tried to push the fear aside, the fear of not paying rent, of losing the tiny home she had worked so hard to keep. That night, after putting Lily to bed, Emma sat at the kitchen table staring at a pile of overdue bills. Tears pricked her eyes. Being kind had cost her everything, and no one seemed to care. Or so she thought. The next afternoon, there was a knock on the door. Emma wiped her hands on her worn-out jeans and opened it. What she saw made her heart stop. Standing in the hallway was Barron Trump. But he wasn't alone. Beside him stood a man in a sleek black suit, clearly a member of the Secret Service. Emma's breath hitched. "What? What are you doing here?" Barron offered a small smile. "I heard what happened. You got fired because of me." Emma shook her head quickly. No, it's not your fault. I shouldn't have broken the rules." "I didn't think it was fair," Barron said quietly, his face sincere. "You were just being nice." Emma didn't know what to say. She was stunned. The president's son was standing at her door, apologizing, something no one else had done. I wanted to thank you properly, Barron continued. He reached into his pocket and pulled out an envelope. My mom and dad, the president, they know what happened. They wanted me to give you this. Emma hesitated before taking the envelope. Her fingers trembled as she opened it. Inside was a check with $25,000 written on it. Her knees nearly buckled. I can't accept this, she whispered. Yes, you can, Barron insisted gently. My dad always says when someone does the right thing, you stand by them. And you did the right thing. Emma shook her head in disbelief. I didn't expect anything. I just wanted to be kind. That's why you deserve it, Barron said. And there's something else. She blinked. Something else. My mom runs a charity, Barron explained. They're looking for someone to help manage donations and community outreach. I told her about you and she wants to offer you a job. Emma's heart pounded. Was this really happening? From being fired at a fast food restaurant to being offered a position working for the First Lady's charity? I don't know what to say. Say yes, Barron grinned. You deserve a break. Tears spilled down Emma's cheeks, this time tears of gratitude. After everything she had been through, this felt like a miracle. A week later, Emma stood in front of a gleaming white marble building, the White House East Wing. Her heart thudded in her chest as she clutched her new leather bag, a gift from Melania Trump herself. She still couldn't believe how much her life had changed in just a few days. After Barron's unexpected visit, everything had moved quickly. Melania Trump's office had called the very next day, offering her a position as a community outreach coordinator for the Be Best initiative, a program focused on children's well-being and empowering communities. It was a salary she had never dreamed of, with benefits that would finally give her and Lily some security. As she walked toward the security checkpoint, Emma thought about the irony. One moment, she was flipping burgers, barely making ends meet. The next, she was entering one of the most famous buildings in the world. The Secret Service agent checked her ID, gave a slight nod, and motioned her through. Every step inside felt surreal: polished hallways, marble columns, and the faint scent of fresh flowers. Ms. Carter. A calm, professional voice interrupted her thoughts. Emma turned to see Melania Trump herself standing gracefully in a cream-colored suit. Despite her public image of cool elegance, her smile was warm and genuine. It's a pleasure to finally meet you, Melania said, extending her hand. Emma shook it, still awestruck. Thank you for this opportunity. I don't even know how to begin thanking you. Melania smiled softly. No thanks necessary. Barron was touched by your kindness, so was I. We need more people like you working to make a difference. Over the next few weeks, Emma threw herself into her new job. Her days were no longer spent over a hot fryer. Instead, she was coordinating food drives, organizing charity events, and speaking to underprivileged communities. Every day, she felt a sense of pride that had been missing from her life for a long time. Her favorite part? Knowing that Lily was secure. With her new salary, Emma moved into a safer neighborhood, enrolled Lily in a better school, and finally had the peace of mind every mother hopes for. But one day, just when Emma thought life couldn't get any better, her phone rang with a very special request. A personal invitation. Emma, are you sitting down? It was Melania's assistant. Her voice buzzed with excitement. Emma chuckled softly. Should I be? The president wants to meet you, the assistant said. He and Barron have been following your work, and they'd like you to attend a special event in the Oval Office. Emma nearly dropped the phone. The Oval Office? The room where some of the most powerful decisions in the world were made? I'd be honored, she stammered. The day of the event arrived quickly. Emma dressed carefully in a navy blue dress, her hands trembling slightly as she helped Lily into a matching outfit. The invitation included her daughter, which made the day even more special. When they arrived, Barron was already there, flashing Emma a smile as he walked over. You made it, he said. I still can't believe I'm here, Emma admitted. How do you get used to this? Barron laughed quietly. You don't. But you deserve it. A hush fell over the room as President Donald Trump entered. Despite his towering presence, his smile was warm as he approached Emma. You must be the young woman my son hasn't stopped talking about, he said, shaking her hand. Emma swallowed the lump in her throat. Mr. President, it's an honor. Trump gestured toward the cameras set up nearby. Well, today we're honoring you. Your kindness to my son didn't go unnoticed. And your work with Be Best has already changed lives. He turned to a staff member who handed him a framed certificate. On behalf of the United States, I'm proud to present you with the Presidential Volunteer Service Award for your commitment to helping those in need. Tears welled up in Emma's eyes as the room erupted in applause. She had never expected any of this. All she had done was buy a teenager a meal. But now she stood in the Oval Office being recognized by the president himself. "Thank you," Emma whispered, "for everything." Trump gave her a nod and added, "The world needs more people like you, Emma." As the applause faded, Emma stood in the center of the Oval Office, still clutching the Presidential Volunteer Service Award. The polished gold seal glimmered under the soft lights, but what meant more to her was the overwhelming sense that her life had changed forever. After the ceremony, Barron approached her with his usual quiet smile. "Told you that you deserved it," he said, his tone light but sincere. Emma laughed softly, still in awe. "I never imagined something like this would happen. I was just doing what felt right." "That's why it mattered," Barron replied. "You didn't do it for attention. You just cared." A few minutes later, Melania Trump joined them, placing a gentle hand on Emma's shoulder. "We're grateful to have you on the team," she said warmly. "But there's one more thing I wanted to discuss." Emma's stomach fluttered with curiosity. "Of course. What is it?" Melania exchanged a glance with her assistant before turning back to Emma. "We've been so impressed by your work with Be Best that I'd like to offer you a promotion. I want you to take over as the Director of Community Engagement, a position where you'll oversee national initiatives supporting children and families across the country." Emma's heart nearly stopped. "Director," she echoed in disbelief. "It's a demanding role," Melania continued, "but after watching your dedication, we know you're the right person to lead these efforts. You'll have more resources, a larger team, and, of course, a salary that reflects your contributions." For a moment, Emma couldn't speak. Less than 2 months ago, she had been struggling to make ends meet in a McDonald's kitchen. Now, the First Lady of the United States was offering her a leadership role that would allow her to help thousands, maybe even millions, of people. Tears threatened to fall as she finally found her voice. I don't know what to say. "Thank you, Mrs. Trump. I won't let you down." Melania's smile was warm and knowing. "I'm sure you won't." The ripple effect. In the weeks that followed, Emma stepped fully into her new role. Her days were now spent collaborating with nonprofits, organizing large-scale community programs, and speaking at events to advocate for children's well-being. But no matter how much her life transformed, she never forgot where she started. She often visited local McDonald's restaurants during her travels, not for the food, but to remind herself of the journey. One afternoon, while reviewing a new education initiative, her phone buzzed with an unexpected message. It was from Barron. "Hey, how's your new fancy job?" Smiley face. Emma laughed and texted back, "Busy, but worth it. Thanks again for everything. How's school?" "Boring, as always. But you've officially made history in my house. My parents still talk about you." As much as the promotion and the award meant, it was moments like these that touched Emma's heart the most. The president's family didn't just reward her kindness. They treated her like one of their own. One evening, as she tucked Lily into bed, her daughter looked up with wide, curious eyes. "Mommy?" she said softly. "Are you a hero now?" Emma smiled and brushed a lock of hair from Lily's forehead. "No, sweetie. I'm just someone who believes a little kindness can change everything." And as she kissed her daughter goodnight, Emma knew that no matter how far life took her, from McDonald's to the White House, kindness would always be her greatest strength. Months passed and Emma fully embraced her role as Director of Community Engagement. Her days were filled with purpose, organizing literacy programs for underprivileged kids, launching food assistance drives, and expanding mental health support for struggling families. But no matter how busy she became, she never forgot the moment that changed everything, a simple act of kindness for a teenage boy who just wanted a cheeseburger. One afternoon, while preparing for a nationwide youth empowerment summit, her assistant handed her a letter marked with the official White House seal. Curious, Emma opened it. Inside was a handwritten note from Barron Trump. "Emma, I heard about the new mentorship program you're starting. It's incredible to see how far you've come and how many lives you're changing. I wanted you to know that what you did for me that day didn't just get you here, it inspired me too. I've been thinking a lot about the kids who don't get second chances. So, with my parents' support, I'm starting a scholarship fund to help teens from low-income families go to college. And I want you to be the program's first honorary advisor. You believed that kindness matters and you proved it. Thank you again. Barron." Tears welled up in Emma's eyes as she read the letter. It wasn't just about the award or the new career, it was about the ripple effect. One small act of kindness had grown into something bigger than she ever imagined. The scholarship fund, named the Emma Carter Opportunity Initiative, launched a month later with a special ceremony in the White House Rose Garden. President Trump himself presented the first batch of scholarships to 10 deserving high school seniors, all of whom had faced enormous hardships. When it was Emma's turn to speak, she stepped up to the podium, scanning the crowd. Sitting in the front row were Melania and Barron, both smiling proudly. And right beside them, waving enthusiastically, was Lily, her daughter, her reason for everything. Taking a deep breath, Emma began. When I gave Barron a free meal that day, I never imagined I'd be standing here. I wasn't looking for recognition, I just wanted to help someone who looked like they needed a little kindness. She paused, her voice steady. But what I've learned since then is that kindness is powerful. It's not just about the big gestures, it's about the small ones that ripple through the world and touch lives you may never even see. And today, I stand here because of that simple belief. The audience erupted in applause. As Emma stepped down from the podium, Barron approached her with a grin. Not bad for a McDonald's employee, he teased lightly. Emma laughed, shaking her head in disbelief. Not bad at all. In the years that followed, Emma's story became a symbol of hope. Media outlets called it the McDonald's miracle, and her journey inspired thousands across the country to embrace kindness in their own communities. The Emma Carter Opportunity Initiative grew to provide scholarships in all 50 states, helping students from disadvantaged backgrounds pursue their dreams. Emma traveled the country, sharing her story and reminding people that even the smallest act of compassion could change lives in ways they could never imagine. And every year, without fail, Barron Trump would check in. One evening, as Emma tucked Lily into bed, her daughter smiled up at her. "Mommy," she whispered, "I want to be kind like you when I grow up." Emma's heart swelled with pride. She leaned down and kissed her daughter's forehead. "You already are, sweetheart." Because, in the end, Emma's story wasn't just about one free meal. It was about a simple truth: kindness always matters. And when you give it freely, you never know how far it will go.